Hello and welcome to Charm School. This, of course, is the show that tutors you on matters etiquette. I am your host, Christine Mbithi Magori, and today in studio we have with us Mark Bichachi, who is a digital media consultant. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
And he
much.
will be telling us what we need to know about Netiquette. And maybe, Mark, to begin, what are the rules that you need to abide by as you go into the digital space?
Well, the rules you need to understand is you have a consumer. Yeah, whether you're going onto the digital space as a business, as an individual, as a public persona, you need to understand you have a consumer. So you have to understand, how do I package myself for the digital space? What do I need to be on the digital space? What information am I going to put out there that is beneficial to me and is palatable for my consumer? So the first decision you need to make is, who am I going to be? It's very important. And then, what information am I going to share? How deeply personal am I going to get?
Right.
How much am I going to interact with people? That is the most important thing you need to do as you go into the digital space across the board, from email to social media, to your website and everything. You need to decide the image, the brand you're going to put out there.
And even as you go into the digital space, and package yourself, you need to consider the security risks as well. Maybe you can tell us a bit about those.
Well, there are a lot of security risks when it comes to the digital space. The first, of course, being stalking, in the sense that if you put in too much information, then certain unsavory characters could find information about where you stay, who your relatives are, who your friends are. And in the space of kidnappings we are having, you also do not want to give so much information as to show how wealthy you are, where you keep your wealth, how your house looks like, and things like that. So you need to be very careful with the information you put out there. The other, of course, danger is being hacked. So you need to have keep your passwords as strong as possible. That means try and use multiple characters and change it every 6 months and things like that. The other third danger, of course, is overexposing yourself. So where you have different attributes about yourself that should not be out there in the public, and then you suddenly let them slip, as it were. Interestingly enough, chatting was the origin of social media. That's where it began, when people started chatting in these little chat rooms. But chatting, I'll give you a bit of a demographic. Chatting is mostly for people under the age of 24, because they have a lot more time, and communicating is easy for them. As people grow older, the demographics show that they participate less in chats, because you have more concentrated efforts in terms of you're raising a family, you've got a career and all these things. So probably you'll chat once a week or in the evenings when you get home. So my advice to people who are serial chatters, again, it is not, if you're friends with someone, it is not wrong to want to chat them, but it's also very polite to find out if they have the time to chat. So please ask, can we chat? So they will tell you yes or no. For those of us who are busy on various chat sites, on Gmail and on Facebook, you can switch off the chat, or you can indicate whether you're busy, you're available, or please text. So there are different statuses you can put up. You need to make use of those features, because then again, a lot of the time, in my inbox, a lot of the time the people who will chat me are my friends. So it's also rude for me, if they've chatted me, for me not to respond in good time. In good time, probably around 24 hours. For the same reason, for example, we are on air right now, so I cannot answer my call. But when I get out of here, I'll find a number of missed calls, so I'll call them back. But then again, it is wrong to spam someone's inbox. Spamming is when they have requested you to stop inboxing them and you continue inboxing them or chatting them. It is wrong to contravene the person's personal space in terms of going too much into their activities. So don't push it again. Yeah, don't push it. Establish what kind of a relationship you have first.
Exactly.
It's very important to do that.
All right. And then there's an issue that I think a lot of people have also faced, where since you are online and everyone has access to social media, then people switch to that as opposed to probably giving you a call when something has happened, or so some people actually disable their walls and things like that, or they make other people unable to reach them via social media just because they don't want to be to replace the old, calling or texting, or if you need to find me, come to be, something like that. Why do you think this is, and what should people do about this?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that technology is developing faster than a human being is able to adapt. And for that reason, a lot of people are having personal conflicts with social media, and it's becoming a problem because the youth, of course, they're young, they're able to adapt things pretty quickly. Just the same way when we were young, when email addresses came out, I had almost 15. It was easy to do that. But the reality of the matter is that, unfortunately, as technology takes over the world and more people are signing on to it, you cannot run away from having a presence. Yeah, and by a presence, I mean to varying degrees. You need to have a presence on social media for business, for career, and for ease of communication. The reason why a lot of people would prefer social media is, among the youth, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than a phone call. It's instantaneous. It is private. So a lot of people are turning into social media for convenience. Okay, and a lot of people, research is showing now in the West, and also for urban Kenyans, that the first thing people do when they wake up is not brush their teeth anymore, is to check whether they have messages. Yeah, so it's becoming bigger and bigger, and my advice to people who are finding it hard to adjust on social media, have a presence. A presence means that simply put up a profile picture, then just be accessible. You don't have to be active on it, just be accessible. Learn the basics, learn to check your messages, learn to check your wall, learn to edit what is on your wall. 2-3 basic tools that will help you have a presence on digital media. Because remember, if you combine the numbers that you have on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, and Google Plus, and the rest, you're talking about 2 billion human beings. So really, you cannot run away from it. It's just the same way. I remember my own father took very long to have an email address. Today, he has 3 or 4. So there is resistance when it comes to age, and that's an international thing. But sooner or later, you'll have to adjust to it, because the more people accept it, the more it becomes an acceptable tool of communication.
And there's also another issue that I've seen where, for example, you have just maybe met someone, or you've interacted with them maybe lightly on social media, and then they begin to write things on your wall that give the impression that you are closer than you actually are, or inappropriate things on your wall. What do you have to say to such people? What kind of things are you really allowed to say, on people's walls publicly to other people, and without being inappropriate?
First and foremost, it is very important to establish what kind of relationship you have with the person to begin with. Okay? Before you write on someone's wall, you need to have their permission. You need to have their permission, and you need to know them well enough to know that if I say happy birthday, it's something they will appreciate. If I tell them, hi, I am going to Ranga today, it's something they will appreciate. You need to develop a rapport, at least with a person, so that you have what the social mandate to do so. You just because you accept someone's friend request, if you've got 3,000, 4,000 friends, you don't know half of them, because your brain can only maintain about 300 relationships in a year. So you don't know half of them. So you do not have the right to post things on people's inboxes. But thankfully, again, for those of us who suffer from unwanted inboxes and wall posts, there's a feature, there's a security feature, and I think a lot of people need to be aware of this, that every social media site has security features, which you can use to make sure that if someone posts on your page, you can decide whether the post goes up or not. So you get a notification, it tells you so and so has posted on your wall. Would you like for it to be visible or not? Would you like to be tagged in this picture or not? So you need to be also aware, because then again, also remember that you need to take responsibility over your own space. Because yes, we're talking to people, 3/4 of them will not listen. And the reason why people have such ill manner on social media and on the digital space as a whole, cyberspace as a whole, is because it gives them an air of anonymity. When we were younger, it used to be called liquid courage. You remember when a young suitor would go get drunk so that he can go talk to a girl because he's got courage. The same thing with social media. Suddenly, there's courage because the person cannot talk back at you instantly. You are safe behind your computer. You are hidden behind your computer. So there's a lot of people who take advantage of that. But the reality is the owner of the page needs to take the responsibility over the page and make sure that they have the proper security features set up. Yes.